The show. The shepherds all worshipped, the angels did sing, for it was the birthday of Jesus the King. The birthday of a king. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
What are you talking about?
A king. Doesn't that make you think of satin, velvet, crown jewels, and royalty?
It wasn't like that at all. As a matter of fact, this birth was anything but glamorous.
No chariot?
Not exactly. Emperor Augustus had ordered a census. Joseph had to go from Nazareth in Galilee to Bethlehem in Judea because it was the birthplace of King David, and Joseph was one of his descendants. It was a long trek.
But they must have had a chariot.
Nothing like it, in fact. We're not sure if Mary, Joseph's wife, walked or rode a donkey, but she was pregnant and probably arrived exhausted. When she finally arrived in Bethlehem, the time had come for Mary to have her baby.
Uh-oh, no hospitals. I take it. Maybe I'll stop complaining about some of my less than stellar birthdays.
Good idea. But even in the midst of all that dust, mud,
The inn was full. A strange thing happened. The innkeeper couldn't turn his back on the couple from Galilee. He already turned a dozen people away that day. It didn't bother him, but something about the couple did.
Why can't I get that couple out of my mind? I've got all these employees. I have plenty to do myself. My inn is totally full that no one else in the world knew. They understood that something monumental was about to happen, and it would change the world forever. And I still have the strange feeling that I can explain, as if something monumental is about to happen. As if this woman is not going to give birth to an ordinary baby, but to a royal or some really special person, like a king. Now it's that ridiculous. The baby could never be a king. His father is a carpenter from Galilee. But why don't you feel so adamant that this is no ordinary birth and no ordinary occasion? I can't stop thinking about the man's eyes. I thought he would wanted me to understand something that he was not at liberty.
So this king wasn't born in a palace. He was born in a stable?
That's right.
But if this baby is really a king, wouldn't people have known what was going on? Shouldn't trumpets have been blowing, or maybe a display of lightning to announce his birth?
God announced his birth with a star.
A star?
A star is so bright, no one knew what to make of it. People all over the world saw it. Some recognized it as a...
There are lots of stars out tonight, but they're smaller. It's like all the little stars want to sing to the big star. Go twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
There were many shepherds living out in the field, keeping watch over their flocks. At night, an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified.
But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be."
Back in Bethlehem, Mary and Joseph had no idea about this. All they knew was that the innkeeper had a sudden change of heart.
Let me guess, he gave him the best room in the whole place.
Not quite. He felt bad for them, Mary being pregnant and all. But he wasn't about to kick somebody out of the inn. He told them they could stay in the barn.
You're kidding.
Unfortunately, no. Mary had been visited by an angel who told her she was going to give birth to a Savior. At this point, she probably thought she had hallucinated.
We're talking sharing your bed with a cow?
And a mule.
A king born in a stable, sleeping in a manger, and wearing rags. Anybody who found him in that manger might consider him a pauper.
I think God made sure that didn't happen. That's why he sent the angels and the star. I think he wanted people to know that his praise was really rare but different.
This Bible predicted the night for thousands of years. Some people were wise to it.
Three wise men of the east looked for the star and followed it. They found the Savior wrapped in swaddling clothes and laid in a manger. That's why the star was brave, who brought the gifts of gold.
Mochir brought frankincense and Casper the gift of myrrh. That night, so tiring, so painful, so historic, and so unforgettable, shows us what royalty really is. Jesus would grow up and say, "He who is last will be first. He who is first will be last." He proved it to us this night.
What more can we say?
You're doing great, guys. Let me sum it up for you. Nearly any of the things that usually accompany greatness, throngs of people followed him. He had no credentials but himself. While he was still young, the tide of public opinion turned against him. His followers ran away. He was turned over to his enemies and went through the mockery of a trial. He was sentenced to death on a cross between two thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for the only piece of property he had on earth, the simple coat he had worn. His body was laid in a borrowed grave provided by a compassionate friend. But 3 days later, this man arose from the dead, living proof that he was, as he has become the symbol of victory over sin and death. This one man's life has furnished the theme for more songs, books, poems, and paintings than any other person or event in history. Thousands of colleges, hospitals, orphanages, and other institutions have been founded in honor of this one who gave his life for us. All the armies that ever marched, all the navies that ever sailed, all the governments that ever sat, all the kings that ever reigned have not affected the course of history as much as this one solitary life. Please join us in singing our final song, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." Thank you all so much for coming. Our students will stand and pause for a moment if anybody would like to get a picture. And then after refreshments,